there's glass on the ground everywhere. When I was driving my, when we're explaining the shiny surfaces, well, look at this one. How spectacular is this event? Now you can see that it curves, and that's a different design of signal. Let's mount down there, but I'm taking you with me. Cakewalk. Things blatantly obvious is when you move in different angles, you get different mirroring refractions, but the leaves make it so much better where you can see that the water is refracted because the sky is so blue today, and it is blatantly obvious for that reason. That's water and not leaves or debris. And the rocks breaking it up also do a number in that favor. Plastic or paper, it was like 10 times easier to just throw it away instead of picking up heavy plates and having to clean them. With one stone, I was kind of interesting where the trick might be you want the tree to be orange, and then you go up close to it, and at the last minute you're told you need to only be close right here, and then it's so convoluted that you're like, oh no, it's red, I thought the tree was orange, and then they're like, no, look, and you can only see through that one image I just showed you, and they're like, oh well, I'm just gonna go home and call it a day, I've learned my lesson. That's why with this perching, it's something real important. I know it's hard to watch some of this footage, but keep sticking to it at the very end. I'm going to draw a great picture for everyone to enjoy. Thanks for watching. Start to understand how important that this borderline stuff I'm talking to you is where I said it could be with leaves or debris. Well, now look at how we're in tuning. Some of these sticks are now bombarded into it, and it's taking a new degree where it appears to be encoding in itself the perching I was talking about earlier. However, there was no like thing above it. It's kind of making it into it, so you can go above and in. Conceptually is very similar if we were then to wrap it and turn it into a bundle. And I'm pretty sure that angular momentum and diagonals that we were talking about earlier could play major parts in implying just that. See, from a distance also the tuning is different. From a distance it's red, but then it turns, the closer you get, you see that the inskirt of it is orange. And that's really like 3D and 3D. But imagine if 4D could be used that much better. That's a pretty perch, how things are perching on it. So like if you have a thing that's kind of perching and then you go further away from it and then you start like looking at it intricately from different angles, that is like resembling a DNA. But then if you connect the DNA in different angles and you go out differently to it, and then it's going to have like different ways of seeing it, and that could all just resemble just rotating around with angular momentum. Because perching it from the borderline and stuff, you can have other ways where maybe some signal could be above, and that's where it encompasses the Jack and the Beanstalk with the castle and the clouds concept, where now instead of bundling it, you can use the thing above it because it's actually connected. We're going after two things. and maybe 3 things only. Those 2 things are going to be a scale. The scale will be the 3rd. But what the scale is being based off, the 2 things, is a robot and a doll. Is a doll silicone? Is it glass? Is silicone and glass at high energies closely related to all of our extremities, epidermis, toenails? A lot of that is calcium. I like to have a map of the body and just have like elements on each part. I'm trying to make all the silicone and glass, what I was just saying earlier, plastic, and see how closely related a doll would be to that, and seeing how closely related a robot would be to that if you're trying to construct it. The ball or egg is broken versus deformed. Tampering with a borderline versus just put there, blown and put there. So the borderlines can have naturally placed, in this case it's leaves and debris, or it could be put there from, I said tampering, because I don't like when stuff is in the streets. I don't like it when there aren't sidewalks to walk on, and I don't like it when sidewalks are close to streets, and I don't like it when sidewalks are small. You could say this for anything. Has this been tampered with, or was it cut by a professional? We need to revamp the word professional because they're not making the cut. I'll say right now, the cat's out of the bag. I'm addressing the elephant in the room. The professionals. Do you want to have this on your road? Does that look professional? This road's not that bad. And this sidewalk right here, I'm excited to go on because it's new. The leaf shouldn't be in the road. Bottom line. But is it broken or hasn't been tampered with? If it's broken, it really could be from, I'm insinuating that it's from naturally being broken. That is like from weathering. But at what point is a weathering unnatural? A lot of people like to say, well, if it's been man-made, it is not natural. All teams have a goal line play, and they have a Hail Mary. This could be either or, and it's a patch at the tip of a border, and that's what it's going to be called when you need a Hail Mary or a goal line stance. Bundles. These are secret plays or special plays. That's when you take the accumulation of the bridge, maybe some patches, you bundle it, and now your patches are in bundles. So you can combine the patches to the borderlines, wrap them up, make new patches. That's an interesting patch, and it's along with the borderline. Plays will be called nodes and bridges. Understanding which is a node and a bridge is going to be part of the play. And patches and barriers. Remember the code encryption? It seems that it's changed from yesterday to today from an accumulation of more leaves. That's a signal. We're behind in the game, but at least we have the playbook initiated. Let's drop some plays. Racism is real, it's not a conspiracy. I would hate to do this, but I kind of want to understand ranges and scales. Let's say I don't believe that racism is real, because there's never been a race that has been extinct from the planet because of racism. Therefore, I don't believe that it's actually possible to be a racist. And on that note, I'm not allowed to go into that playpen because I'm an adult. However, I see adults in the playpen all the gosh darn time because they have kids. It's like a bar. You can't go into a bar unless you're old enough. You can look old enough and go into a bar. You can't go into the bar unless you show your ID. And on that note, I'm trying really hard to speak into this earbud because I believe that the earphone is on this earbud, but very well the microphone could be in the jack and the earbud in my left ear, and you can't see that. When this playbook, it's a playbook. We're gonna be calling plays here on Zo Crew channel. When you put it reminds me of the NFL football coaches when they put their microphone in their headset and then they hold the folder over and it enhances the audio to the microphone feed. I'm going to be trying to do that, but understand with doing that, it could be, we need two birds with one stone. Perhaps throwing your sunglasses could be no different than putting the folder in front of your mouth and talking. And what if it could mean that? And then you wouldn't have to pick up your sunglasses if you did that. How could that have happened? Maybe because things are entangled, it could. I don't know, but that's what is important to understand. The scaling and ranging would be, what would be cool? If I could just take off my glasses and throw them, and that's cool initially, but then on camera everyone's watching and saying, well, no. Mic drop. When your mic drop is an earbud, it's they're the same thing. There's a lot of things that are the same thing, and I don't want that to be misconstrued because then we'll just be working overtime for no reason. So you grab the bull by the horn, you could grab either horn and you're still grabbing the bull. My hair is a bit greasy and maybe even nappy. I'm going to say that word because I've seen white people have nappy hair, redheads, and my hair is showing characteristics of that. That's not that important, but I just want to show my audience that my viewership's of 0 right now, that is something important. Wow, let's just take a bite of this great egg. Hey, do you know how many different types of eggs there are? If this one would be an ostrich egg, it would be broken. But then you could see it's been broken and not deformed. And that's a big difference. That was a neat bounce. When there's the hair and it is in ranging and scales of different things, frail, gingerly and frail can mean the same thing. The hair, it's like when you take a razor, like a scissors, and you slide it down a ribbon and it curls. These certain things are going to be all relative. Einstein's relative is a range of scales where everyone sees the thing from different angles and it's all relative to them. But what if you go inwards to where wow, the hair's dehydrated and that's why it's frizzing? Could nappy hair be dehydrated hair? Or could it be of the razor down the side of it making it curl? Or is it both, like frail and ginger? We shall find out today. As of now, you're watching Zo Crew. It's kind of like how noodles get wet, and then this is, or the train tracks when it was making that sound. This is folding wood, and it actually is good when you're doing push-ups.